আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আহ, আজকে অনেকদিন পরে আসলাম। সো খুবই একটি ইম্পর্টেন্ট টপিকস নিয়ে চলে আসছি। সেটা হচ্ছে 17ই জুলাই হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ ব্যাংকের এক্সাম, অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট ডিরেক্টর এডি এক্সাম। সো এই এক্সামের সবচেয়ে হট টপিকস হচ্ছে আইসিটি। সো সেটা নিয়ে আজকে কথা বলবো। তো আমরা বিগত বছরের যতগুলো আইসিটি কোয়েশ্চেন আছে সবগুলা একসাথে নিয়ে আমরা আজকে এটা আসলে এটা আসলে কালেক্ট করা হয়েছে হচ্ছে ডিবাগ আইটি জব সলিউশন থেকে, ওদের থেকে পিডিএফটা নেওয়া হয়েছে। তো আমরা আসলে এখন সলভ করার চেষ্টা করব সবগুলো আইসিটি কোয়েশ্চেন একসাথে। ওকে, চলেন শুরু করি। প্রথমে হচ্ছে ফ্যাবল 5 ইজ রিফার্ড টু অ্যাজ এন কি। ফ্যাবল 5 ছিল হচ্ছে একটা এআই মডেল। হুইচ নেটওয়ার্ক element is used to uniquely identify a device connected to a network? এটা হচ্ছে আইপি অ্যাড্রেস। Which of the following is the key component of a computer's motherboard? Answer হচ্ছে RAM. What does the term zero-day vulnerability mean in cybersecurity? A vulnerability unknown to the software vendor. Which foundational computer science field did John McCarthy officially coin the term for in 1955? এটা হচ্ছে artificial intelligence. Okay. তারপরে হচ্ছে what is the primary function of a captcha? এটা হচ্ছে differentiating between human and robots. ক্যাপচা দ্বারা মূলত আমরা কি করি, মানে হইতেছে হিউম্যান এবং রোবটের যে পার্থক্যটা এটা আমরা আসলে আইডেন্টিফাই করি। In what year did researchers Stuart Haber and Walter Scott Stornetta introduce the first cryptographically secured chain of blocks? 1991. What is the standard port number used for secure encrypted communication over HTTPS? 443. তার মানে কোন পোর্ট নাম্বারটা এখানে ইউজ হয়? পোর্ট নাম্বারটা হচ্ছে 443, এটা মাথায় রাখতে হবে। তারপরে হচ্ছে হুইচ নেটওয়ার্ক টোপোগ্রাফি অফার্স দ্য হাইয়েস্ট রিডান্ডেন্সি বাট রিকোয়ার্স দ্য মোস্ট ক্যাবলিং ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার? এটা হচ্ছে মেশ টপোলজিতে। সরি, এটা একটু ডিস্টার্ব করতেছে, মেবি চেঞ্জ করে দেই, থিকনেসটা একটু কমাই দিই। ওকে, তারপরে হচ্ছে which term describes a security professional who ethically exploits vulnerabilities to help organizations secure their network? এটা হচ্ছে white hat hacker. What is the core component of an operating system that manages system resources? এটা হচ্ছে kernel. এখন combined 10 banks এবং F1 officer general equationটা দেখব। What does GPT stand for? Generative pre-trained transformer. Which protocol is primarily used to securely transfer files between a local computer and a remote server? এটা হচ্ছে SFTP. আচ্ছা, what is open source software? Open source software হচ্ছে source code is publicly available. Open source software হচ্ছে যেটা publicly available. Which number system has base 16? 16 কার? 16 হচ্ছে hexadecimal এর base. Which type of memory is faster? Cache memory. এটা হচ্ছে সবচেয়ে faster memory. Which one of the following is not a display cable type? Display cable type নিচের কোনটি নয়? যেমন VGA এটা ইউজ হয়, HDMI আমরা ইউজ করি ডিসপ্লেতে, তারপরে DVI ইউজ করি। তাহলে কি হবে? SATA। এটা হচ্ছে কি ডিসপ্লে কেবল টাইপ না। In clouding computing, what does SAS stands for? Software as a service. Which of these is a compiled language? C++. Who is the owner of Grok? Elon Musk হচ্ছে এই গ্রকের ওনার। Which Bengali font is most widely used for officially government documentation in Bangladesh? এটা হচ্ছে Shutuni Amjish. The delay before data transfer begins is called latency. A bit is the smallest unit of data in a computer. How many bits make up a single byte? এটা হবে 8. Which of these is widely used high level programming language known for its readability? এটা হচ্ছে Python. Which component is responsible for permanently storing the instructions a computer needs to start up the firmware? এটা হচ্ছে ROM. The basic unit of information in computing that is represented by a single 0 or 1 is called bit. The digital logic, which logic gate outputs a 1 true only when the both of its input values 1 true. এটা AND গেটের ক্ষেত্রে সম্ভব। তার মানে কি বলছে, যেই লজিক গেটের আউটপুট মানে ট্রু অনলি when the both of inputs values 1, মানে দুইটারই আউটপুট যদি 1 হয় আবার ইনপুটও যদি 1 হয় তাহলে ওটাকে আমরা AND গেটের মধ্যেই হয় আর কি। Which port is most commonly used for modern wired Ethernet connection? RJ45. Which communication mode allows bidirectional flow but only way at a time? এটা হাফ ডুপ্লেক্সে হয়। এই জিনিসটা যদি থাকে bidirectional flow, এটা হচ্ছে হাফ ডুপ্লেক্সে ঘটে। Which communication mode allows? Okay, which protocol ensures reliable data transmission? এটা হবে TCP. Which technology is commonly used for real-time big data processing? এটা হচ্ছে Apache Spark. Which of the following is the best approach to securing sensitive data in transit over a network? মানে হচ্ছে best approach কোনটা? Using virtual private network, VPNs and encryption protocols. Which of the following is an example of a social engineering attack? Phishing emails designed to steal login credentials. Which of the following is an input device? সেটা হচ্ছে লাইট পেন হচ্ছে একটা ইনপুট ডিভাইস, বাকি সবগুলাই আউটপুট ডিভাইস। ওকে, 1 টেরাবাইট সমান কত বাইট? 1024 to the power 4. What does SSD stands for? SSD হচ্ছে solid state drive. In case of failure of one drive, which one topology has no major disruption? কোন টপোলজি যদি মানে একটা ডিভাইসের সমস্যা হয় তাহলে কোন টপোলজি সমস্যা হবে না? সেটা হচ্ছে mesh. Which of the following is a type of malware that designed for surveillance? এটা হচ্ছে spyware. Which file extension is associated with a Windows Media Audio developed by Microsoft Word? .wma. Which of the following is a key feature of the fourth industrial revolution? Integration of advanced technology like AI, IoT, and robotics. In the context of blockchain, what is a block? A group of transactions bundled together and added to the blockchain ledger. Very, very important. Which storage mechanism uses charge leakage over time and must be periodically refreshed to retain data? এটা হচ্ছে DRAM cells. Which of the following cache types is faster but most expensive, usually located inside the CPU? এটা হচ্ছে L1 cache হবে। তারপরে হচ্ছে which storage device type uses magnetic disk and rotational platters for data storage? এটা হচ্ছে HDD. Which data type is used to store whole numbers? INT. Which protocol used to receive image from a server? এটা হচ্ছে POP3. A step-by-step procedure or set of rules used to solve a specific problem is known as algorithm. In programming, what is the term for an error, the logic or syntax of a program that prevents it from running correctly? এটা হচ্ছে bug. Which of the following is high-level programming language commonly used for general-purpose programming and data science? এটা হচ্ছে Python. The process of searching through largest data sets to identify patterns and relationships is called data mining. Which type of DNS record maps a domain name to an IPv4 address? এটা হচ্ছে a record. তা আবার আসছে, which type of DNS record maps a domain name to an IPv4 address? এটা হচ্ছে a record. A chatbot like ChatGPT is an example of generative AI. What is the use of CAPTCHA in online banking application? এটা হচ্ছে blocking bots. Wi-Fi based on IEEE 802.11. What was the name of the first computer virus? এটা হচ্ছে Clipper virus. What does QR for? Quick response. What is the name of the world's first artificial satellite? Sputnik 1. Which one is not a leading AI startup? নিচে কোনটি leading AI startup নয়, এটা হচ্ছে Nvidia. Which is the time complexity of searching for an element in a balanced binary search tree? এটা হচ্ছে O log n. Which of the following is not a guided media? এটা হচ্ছে radio waves. Which of the following is a logical operator? Logical operator is the and সাইনটা দুইবার, এটা হলো logical operator. Which is not an IT certification? DGSEC. DGSEC is IT certification. Okay. Which company owns ChatGPT? এটা হচ্ছে OpenAI. ChatGPT কার? এটা হচ্ছে OpenAI. In fintech, what is the primary purpose of robo-advisors? Financial planning. Fintech এর যে primary purpose ছিল robo-advisor সেটা কোনটা? Financial planning. Using algorithm to analyze financial data for investment decision making purposes. Algorithm trading. 787 Dreamliner is an American wide-bodied airline developed and manufactured by Boeing. In 24-25 season, the champion of the French league, Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. What is the address of length of IPv6? 128. Which of the following is not a data visualization tool? MySQL. Name of the word processing application in iWork suite is Pages. Which one is not an AI tool? Should I say VoIT? Which one is the open source operating system? Linux. Linux is open source operating system. In a computer, which unit is responsible for fetching and executing instruction? Control unit. A macro in software like Excel is used for automate tasks. Which data structure uses a last in first out LIFO principle? এটা হইতেছে stack. Which of the following is not an open source software? Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel কিন্তু open source software নয়. তারপরে হচ্ছে which kind of memory has the highest access speed? এটা হচ্ছে cache. What is IoT means? Internet of Things. What type of software is an operating system software? What is phishing? An internet scam to steal information. The technology company that conducted the first quantum internet test in early 2025 is Huawei. The technology company that conducted the first quantum internet কোনটাকে বের করছে? Huawei. What kind of device is a joystick? এটা হচ্ছে input device. Joystick হচ্ছে input device. What is the main function of a firewall in a computer network? Filtering incoming and outgoing traffic. Which of the following statement about RAM is not correct? RAM stores data permanently. What is the purpose of using CAPTCHA? Differentiating between humans and robots. আগে আমরা পড়ছি এটা. Which of the following is not a characteristics of solid state drive? এটা হচ্ছে slower than HDD. মানে এটা হচ্ছে কোনটা ক্যারেক্টার না নিচের SSD এর ক্যারেক্টার না, slower than HDD. Which company developed the Android operating system? Google. Android সিস্টেমটা কে ডেভেলপ করছে? Google. Which of this is not a type of a computer memory? Which of this is not a type of a computer memory? সেটা হচ্ছে CPU. What is the full form of URL? Uniform Resource Locator. What type of device is a scanner? এটা হচ্ছে input device. The fastest storage device is SSD, solid state drive. What kind of software is Microsoft Word? Application software. Which of the following is used to carry data in a computer? এটা হচ্ছে bus topology তে হয়. তারপরে হচ্ছে the smallest unit of data in a computer is bit. What does the F5 key typically do in a web browser? Refresh the page. The process of starting a computer is called booting. Booting. In MIC error, C stands for character. Character. Magnetic in character recognition. What is the meaning of OMR? Optical mark reader. Optical mark reader. Dash is the common language for Python. Which of the following is not a valid data type in MS Excel? এটা হবে character. Which of the following is not a valid data type in MS Excel? Character. In MS Word, Control E. এটা কি করে? সেন্টারকে অ্যালাইনমেন্ট করে। Center alignment. Word processing, spreadsheet and photo editing are example of application software. In order to save a Word document as a web page, you need to save as HTML. Which of the following will translate image of text, drawings, photos into digital form? Digitizer. A pixel is the smallest resolvable part of a picture. Control, Shift, Alter are called modifier keys. এগুলো হচ্ছে modifier keys. Bitcoins are created as a reward for a process known as mining. Which of the following is a function of NPSB, establishing interoperability among banks for transaction? NPSB এর আসলে ফাংশনটা কি? Establishing interoperability among banks for transaction. Different banks of Bangladesh introduced mobile apps Android version for providing online financial services to its customers. Which of the following mobile apps have been launched by the scheduled banks? Nexus Pay, Selfin, CityTouch, UPay and Sky Banking. Which memory has the highest speed of access? এটা হবে cache. তারপরে হচ্ছে who owns the Java programming language? এটা হচ্ছে Oracle Corporation. Abacus is a hand operated calculating tool. Abacusটা কি? Hand operated calculating tool. Number of different characters in ASCII coding system? 256. Which keyboard command is used to underline a word or a sentence in MS Word? Control U. Which of the following is not an image of a graphic file format? GUI. Cybersecurity Act was enacted in Bangladesh in the year 2023. Which of the following computer language is written in binary codes only? Machine language. Which of the following is the device used for converting maps, pictures, drawing into digital form for storage in computer? এটা হবে digitizer. What is the decimal equivalent of the binary number of 10111? এটা 23. The computer command Control Alter Delete is applied for shut down the computer. A database is not a form of data storage media. A hard disk drive can be directly connected to a PC via a ASCII interface. ACSA. RAM is also called a volatile memory. Which is a type of computing that performs computation, storage and even application as a service across a network? Cloud computing. এটা কি হবে? Cloud computing. How many types of recipients are there in an email system? 3. Find the odd one among the following. C++. The process of copying files to a CD-ROM is known as burning. RTGS is a payment system. Which of the following is the strongest password? এই পাসওয়ার্ডটা হচ্ছে সবচেয়ে strongest. The keyboard command to reboot a computer is Control, Alter এবং Delete. If we want to connect a few computers in a small office, all the computers in one building or all the computers in several buildings in close proximity, which type of network is required? LAN area network. Which one is utility software? WinZip. Which one is the most popular alternative delivery channels in Bangladesh? MFS. Which one is the high-level programming language? সেটা হচ্ছে Python. URL stand for Uniform Resource Locator. A gigabyte is equal to 124 megabyte. A terabyte is equal to 1024 gigabyte. RTGS is a key, এটা একটা হচ্ছে পেমেন্ট সিস্টেম। An offline UPS will typically take 8 milliseconds to transfer power. 8 milliseconds to transfer power. A chatbot or chatterbot is a software for keeping internet activity anonymous and private by users. Which one is used? Dark web. Which of the following formats is usually used to store data? এটা হচ্ছে BCD. Which of the following are not the components of a microprocessor? এটা হচ্ছে হার্ড ডিস্ক। Microsoft Office is an example of a closed source software. Closed source software. Identify the language which is mainly used for artificial intelligence. Identify the language which is mainly AI language হিসেবে কাজ করে, সেটা হচ্ছে Prolog. Electronic trespassing or criminal hacking is known as cracking. RAM belongs to which kind of memory? Main memory. The amount of time a message takes to traverse a system is called latency. Which one is the first program of Microsoft? MS-DOS. Where e-commerce business model does iTunes follow? Service provider. In Microsoft Excel, the function key F2 used for editing a cell. In MS Word, the shortcut key Ctrl N is used for opening a new document. Which one of the following is not considered as a form of secondary storage? RAM. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Satellite communication works through transponder. The speed of the internet data transmission is defined in terms of kbps. What kind of package program in MS Access database? DBase 3 is application software. The main memory of a computer system is volatile. The computer system which uses a drum plotter is known as both A and B. Mainframe computer, mini computer. The command to reboot, control, alter, delete. Bluetooth operation use radio technology. Bluetooth operation use radio technology. Ready-made styles that can be used for a work document are called templates. Which one of the following techniques is used to hide information inside a picture? এটা হচ্ছে stenography. Identify the oldest phone hacking technique used by hackers to make free calls. এটা হচ্ছে phreaking. A bit can be 1 or 0. PROM stands for programmable read-only memory. Who was the founder of Bluetooth? Ericsson. USB is which type of storage device? Secondary. Which keys used to check spelling? এটা হচ্ছে absent. What is the portion of check documents in which you set certain page formatting options? Page setup. Which of the following is a graphic solution for word processor? All. Word art, clipper, drop. By default, on which page the header or the footer is printed? On every page. Information on a computer is stored as what? Digital data. A word in a web page that, when clicked, opens another document. Hyperlink. Documents, movies, image, photographs, etc. are stored at a file server. Which of the following is not a term of information technology? Light storage. A collection of related information sorted and dealt with as a unit is a data. Information on a computer is stored as what? Digital data. In MS Word, the shortcut key Ctrl O is used for opening a document. The symbol of a $sign is used in Microsoft Excel for fixing the cell. In a computer, text codes convert letters into binary format. The output quality of a printer is measured by dots per inch. Which of the following wireless communication systems has the fastest speed? WiMAX. Which of the following used to select the whole document? Ctrl A. In which folder the unwanted mails are stored? Spam. Which is used to measure the clock speed? of the CPU per second, gigahertz. Which of the following is a social media company? এটা হচ্ছে LinkedIn. What is the smallest unit of data transmission? Bit. Which of the following is a C2C e-commerce platform? Bigger.com. The full form of Wi-Fi wireless fidelity. What does fintech stands for? Financial technology. Fintech মানে হচ্ছে financial technology. USB stands for universal serial bus. 1024 terabyte মানে হচ্ছে 1 petabyte. Which computer memory is never erased? ROM. Arranged in ascending order in the units of terabyte, kilobyte, gigabyte, megabyte. প্রথমে terabyte আসবে, তারপরে gigabyte, megabyte, kilobyte. Using output device, one can print data. Spyware is a type of malware. Which of the following groups has only input device? সেটা হচ্ছে mouse, keyboard, scanner. Python is a programming language. Which of the following is the shortcut control key for centering text? Control E. Which of the keys is not on the number? Control. The shortcut key for activating reference tab is Alt S. Address identifies a cell in MS Excel. A microcomputer or a mini computer is the controller unit of CNC. Macros allows the user to automate frequently used formatting setting. In MS PowerPoint, the slide shorter view displays slides in thumbnail form. Computer monitor is also known as VDU. Which one is the result of the output given by a computer information? Which is not a type of scanner? Daisy wheel. UBIS is related to e-commerce sector. The saved BIOS configuration data is stored at CMOS. The Android operating system is the embedded version of Linux. In Microsoft Word, first line and hanging are special forms of indentation. Star topology is a network topology in which each network component is physically connected to a central node such a router, hub or switch. এটা কিন্তু হবে star topology. Bridge is a computer networking device that creates a single aggregate network from multiple communication networks. In MS Word, which one of the following keys will refresh হচ্ছে F5. Which port is used by simple mail transfer protocol? 25 portটা use হয়. Difference attributes in two different tables having same name are referred to as homonym. Dash view displays all the slides in a presentation of horizontally sequenced thumbnails. কোনটা হবে এটা? Slide shorter. The tool used to find a similar word in a document is called Finder. In MS Word, bullets and numbering are in the tab Home. Which file starts MS Word? winword.exe. Which of the following is not available on the ruler of MS Word screen? Center indent. Which of the following is not a valid data type in Excel? Character. Which of the following sections does not exist in a slide layout? এটা হচ্ছে animation. Which of the following are loaded in safe mode? Keyboard driver, mouse driver, VGA driver, সবগুলাই সঠিক. Microsoft Windows is an operating system. The banker's algorithm is used to prevent deadlock. Which of the following is not an essential component to perform a mail merge operation? Word fields. Graphical pictures that represent an object like file, folder, etc. That's icons. The memory sizes in mainframe computers and advanced technology microcomputer are expressed as all of these: bytes, kilobytes, megabytes. Which network protocols is used to send email? SMTP. The dash program compress large files into smaller files. এটা সম্ভবত all of this সবগুলাই দিয়ে হয়. WinShrink, WinStyle, WinZip, all of this. Which components appear in the initial Windows startup display? Taskbar. Which of the following is an example of utility? এটা হচ্ছে antivirus. How can you update the values of formula? Calls if auto-calculate mode in Excel disable F9. Which of the following Excel screens components cannot be turned on or off? এটা হবে না, কোনোটাই হবে না। Which enables us to send the same letter to different person? এটা হচ্ছে mail merge. Which of the following is not section break option? Previous page. What feature will we use to apply nation effects in between a slide exist and another enters? Slide transition. Which of the following font effects is not available in the PowerPoint font dialog boxes? It হচ্ছে emboss. Dash are introduced in fourth generation computer. এটা হচ্ছে microprocessor. Which one is called the brain of a computer? এটা হচ্ছে CPU. Which of the following is not an input device? Plotter. Which one is the largest space? Petabyte. Every computer connected to the internet is identified by a unique 4-part string known as IP address. The rectangular area of the screen that displays a program data or information is a window. What is the default file extension for all Word document? Doc. Excel workbook is a collection of worksheet. In a spreadsheet program, the dash contains related worksheet and documents. It have a workbook. Equal sum v1. Yes, okay. এটা যদি এটা কি example of the formula. The word robot comes from the meaning of robota, forced labor. Which of the following is the largest size in the list? Zettabyte. The system menu contains commands associated with my computer window. The modern keyboard typically has 12 function keys. Each Excel file is a workbook that contains different sheets. Which of the following cannot be a sheet in the workbook? Datasheet. The ability to combine name and address with a standard document is called mail merge. Which of the following is word processing software? Well, all of these: WordPerfect, WordPack, MS Word. Which of the following sections does not exist in slide layout? It's animation. In which menu can you find feature like slide design, slide layout, etc. format menu? A light sensitive device that converts drawing, printed text or other images into digital form. Scanner. In order to tell Excel that we are entering a formula in cell, we must begin with an operator such as equal sign. Computer virus is a software. A Microsoft Windows is operating system. Which of the following is not an operating system? Oracle. What is the main folder on a storage device called root directory? Which of the following refers to a small single site network LAN? The process of a computer receiving information from a server on the internet is known as downloading. The portion that shows all the choice you can make while working in a window is called option. www stands for World Wide Web. Which device among the following is used for sending digital data over a phone line? It have a modem. Which of the following is a spreadsheet program? MS Excel. What is the shortcut key for line break? Shift plus enter. How is data organized in a spreadsheet? Rows and column. Once information input into a computer, it becomes data. A device that connects to a network without the use of cable is said to be wireless. The blinking point which shows your position in the text is called cursor. In Excel, charts are created using which option? এটা হচ্ছে chart wizard. Which among the following is a secondary storage device? এটা হচ্ছে hard disk. By pressing which key we can move the beginning of a page? এটা হচ্ছে home key. Which among the following is an image name? GIF. Typeface option will come under thick menu. এটা হচ্ছে format. Programs designed to perform specific task is known as application software. Pressing F8 key for 3 times selects a sentence. A light sensitive device that converts drawing, printed text or other images into digital form is called scanner. Computer virus is a software. Which of the following is a word processing software? All of them. Word, perfect, word, bad, and smart. By default, your document print is portrait mode. The basic unit of a worksheet into which you enter data in Excel is called a cell. And important, the basic unit of worksheet into which you enter data in Excel sheet is called cell. Graphical pictures that represent an object like file, folder, etc. icons. Which of these is toolbars allows changing of fonts and their size? Formatting. All of following are examples of real security and privacy like except spam. Spam বাদে বাকি সবগুলা কি সিকিউরিটির ভিতরে পড়তেছে। What is the main folder on a storage device called root directory? The process of a computer is giving information from a server on the internet is known as downloading. Who is the vice among the following used for sending digital data over phone line modem? Which of the following is a spreadsheet program? MS Excel. How is data organized? Spreadsheet, rows and column. সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। আমাদের চ্যানেলটাকে সবাই সাবস্ক্রাইব করেন যাতে পরবর্তী ভিডিওতে আমরা এই ধরনের ভিডিও নিয়ে আসতে পারি। ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।